Are the Seattle Mariners good enough to win the AL West? Let's talk about it. So as we know, the Seattle Mariners have gotten off to a much hotter start to this season than we all anticipated after the first 20 games. At the time of this recording, the Seattle Mariners are 9 games up on the Houston Astros and Texas Rangers, where they even reached a peak of 10 games up on both of them. But as most of us know, that these two teams will not give up, and if anything at the deadline, they will most likely be adding to their teams. And a huge reason for their struggles so far is a lot of injuries, especially on the pitching side. So while it is a great feeling to be this far up in the division only in June, we all know that it will not be this big of a difference come August. And while it very well could be the case that we are still 10 games up come August, we are going to have to improve in a lot of categories. So in today's video, I kind of just want to go over how well the Mariners are doing so far in the month of June. This is excluding the last game against the Cleveland Guardians, in which in the month of June, the Seattle Mariners are 12-5 so far. And like I said, reached a maximum of 10 games ahead in the division, which is their biggest jump so far this year. And I also just kind of want to give you guys a little bit of flashbacks to a few years ago in terms of where the Mariners were at 76 games in and how well the Mariners need to do to get to 90 wins this season and how well the Astros and Rangers do as well. So as I said, the main question is, are the Mariners good enough to win the AL West? And the answer is yes, but I want to back that up with some more statistics. So in 2022, when the Seattle Mariners made the playoffs for the first time in a little over 20 years, 76 games into the season, they were 35-41. And as I said, this was a year that they did make the playoffs, and they were 6 games below 500 at this point in the season, and right now they are 12 games above 500. And everyone remembers last year where we missed the playoffs by 1 game, unfortunately, but last year they were 37-39, 76 games through the season. So again, they still have 7 more wins this year than they did last year at this point. So as I said earlier in the video, we are really not used to the Mariners doing this well this early in the season. They usually figure it out after the All-Star break or a little bit right before. But in my mind, to win the AL West, I believe a team is going to have 90 wins or more. That's just the competitiveness of the division. But in order for the Mariners to get to 90 wins at this point, they need to go 46-40 the rest of the way, which by no means is that a far thing for them to do. Their schedule is pretty easy from here on out. They will have the Dodgers at some point and some other difficult teams in there, such as the Phillies. And obviously, they're going to have more games against the Rangers and the Astros moving forward. But they only need to go 46-40 to reach that 90 win mark, while the Astros and the Rangers, on the other hand, have to go 56-32 in order to reach 90 wins this season, which again, for them, I don't think is too far of a stretch, but being 24 games essentially over 500 over the rest of the season is going to be a very, very tough task. Both teams essentially need to win 10 more games than the Mariners do moving forward, and that is a very, very tough task to do. Again, I never rule out either one of these teams to go on a crazy run or add a crazy bat at the deadline or something like that. But I do believe the Mariners have a very solid chance, especially if they keep up with the statistics in June. So I kind of want to go over a few players that are doing really, really well in the month of June, and we really need some of these guys to really start to figure it out, and you'll see where they are ranked towards their position. So in the month of June, here is a chart on your screen, and Josh Rojas has a .3 WAR in the month of June, which ranks him 15th among qualified third basemen. Julio has a .5 WAR in the month of June, which ranks him 11th in terms of qualified center fielders. Mitch Garver has a .5 WAR, and he is really starting to pick it up in the month of June, which ranks him 11th in terms of qualifying DH. JP has a .5 WAR in the month of June, which ranks him 11th amongst qualified shortstops. And Luke Raley has a .4 WAR, and that ranks him 19th amongst qualified left fielders. So this is a very positive sign for the Mariners that some guys like Mitch Garver are really starting to figure it out, and even Julio a little bit, starting to get more slugging. But this is a really good step forward for them in the month of June so far, that the offense has picked it up, especially since the firing of Brant Brown, whether that was the reason or not. The offense has definitely picked it up since then. Now, on the other hand, they still do rank poorly in a lot of categories, such as the strikeout rate. They still do lead the league by a lot in terms of strikeouts. They just struck out a ton the other night against Tanner Bybee. So that is still definitely a concern and something that really needs to be figured out. I don't know if they really will figure it out per se, but it is definitely something that needs to be improved on at some point. But the offense has definitely picked it up a little bit, and that is a huge reason of our success so far in the month of June. So now I want to pivot a little bit to our starting pitching staff, and that is in the month of June as well, because Bleacher Report posted this picture that you see on screen yesterday, and it ranks the Mariners as 3rd this month in terms of top 10 MLB pitching staffs in the month of June, which absolutely makes no sense, and I'm going to tell you why. Sure, call me biased or whatever, but these are just the plain facts of the situation, especially in this month of June. So Bleacher Report has the Yankees and Phillies higher than the Mariners in terms of pitching, but if they took a little bit of a deeper dive into the month of June, the Seattle Mariners have 3 pitchers in the top 13 for WAR this month, and that is Bryce Miller, Logan Gilbert, and George Kirby. Logan Gilbert ranks at 6th, George Kirby ranks at 7th, and Bryce Miller ranks at 13th. Also, Luis Castillo does come in at 31st in terms of WAR this month, which is also pretty good. He's been struggling a little bit here and there, but he has been improved, especially since the start of the year. But that is 3 Mariners pitchers in the top 13, and not a single Yankee or Philly ranks higher than them. So that is kind of just one thing I kind of wanted to point out in my way of expressing how well the pitching staff has also been doing this month during this win streak. And to just really emphasize that it makes no sense that the Yankees or Phillies are ranked higher than them this month, because not a single one of their pitchers is ranked higher than 3 of our pitchers in terms of WAR, but we digress. Now, in my personal opinion, I do think the Mariners are good enough with this team right now to go out and win the division, but that does not mean I do not think that they should go out and not do anything at the deadline. They need to add bats. They need to add 1 to 2 quality bats, and preferably guys that don't strike out as much. You can check out some of my previous videos to see some of the mock trades, and hopefully I will be doing another one in the future. But this just kind of give you guys a little bit better understanding of what really needs to happen from here on out, and really how much better the Mariners are doing this season up until this point compared to years prior. Let me know if you guys think the Mariners can win the AL West with this current team right now. Otherwise, I hope you guys did enjoy the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.